Hello, class of 2021. In one of the many plot twists in the past year and a half, I am so excited that we are actually having some form of an in-person commencement this year. I should probably address the elephant in the room. Later today, we will all graduate together in person, yet our parents and loved ones are in remote lands afar watching us go through a major life milestone on a screen. Hi, Oma. Hi, Appa. I know that not having our family here for many of us is difficult, especially those who are first-generation students, children of immigrants, and international students. But to be completely fair, a significant portion of graduation is hearing our names be mispronounced at 500 decibels, so at least our family doesn't have to witness that in person. At this point, I'm sure all of you are so sick of hearing the new lingo that has permeated our lives since the great RISD evacuation of March 2020. New normal, social distancing, or perhaps the worst of all, unprecedented times. Ugh. But let's look at the bright side. The great thing about living through unprecedented times is that it gives us a chance to set new ones. More importantly, it also allows us to reevaluate which precedents we can leave behind. And with that sentiment in mind, I would like to share the story of one of my first critiques here at RISD. I was pulling one of those classic RISD stunts where I refused to manage my time and started my homework at 11 p.m. the night before. And we've all been there. You croak out a hello to the cleaning staff when they come in at 4 a.m., your hot glue gun has burned off all your fingerprints, and your dignity has gone to a dark place where the sun doesn't shine. Anyway, when class inevitably started, I presented my tragedy of a piece, fully expecting for my work to be thrown into the canal. But instead, I was met with an apathetic silence. The professor just mumbled a few words and moved on to the next piece. And I was ecstatic. I hadn't been raked over the coals as I had expected. However, at my next critique, it happened again, and again, and again. No matter the quality or the subject matter of my work, the level of engagement I was afforded from both professors and classmates was minimal. Slowly, I came to realize that silence was actually the worst response you can face in a critique. But at that point as a freshman here at RISD, I was still the anxious child of Korean immigrants who had grown up in the Virginian suburbs and therefore had only exclusively existed in white spaces. So silence was the best and only outcome I had the audacity to ask for. Silence was a welcome reprieve from everything between the microaggressions and the good old regular-sized aggressions. Silence, in response to the existence of someone who looked like me, had been my normal. That had been my precedent. Unfortunately, I learned that my experience was perpetuated both in the RISD bubble and in the world beyond. The invalidation and marginalization of our students of color, the erasure of names and identity by professors who always call us by the name of the one other student of color in our class, and the resulting imposter syndrome, which we carry into all other aspects of our lives. It wasn't long, though, before I had the first of many conversations with peers, student leaders, faculty, and administrators who helped me articulate my invisibility. Together, through the small steps of wildly uncomfortable conversations, educating ourselves on our own privilege or lack thereof, we built the frameworks within crit spaces and within ourselves to make sure that we supported each other. Subsequently, there are 3 mantras we told each other and ourselves. 1, take up space. 2, be unapologetic. And 3, ask for more. And when someone tells you that you are too much, tell yourself perhaps they're not enough. After all, silence is a precedent we all collectively can and should leave behind. As artists and designers, we hold so much power and responsibility for how we shape the futures that don't exist yet. We have the power to shape future narratives and lead how it will look like. We get to design the tools that people will use, the systems in which they will operate, and the visual narratives that they consume. Just like how we have questioned, critiqued, and redesigned the pedagogies here at our institution, we must carry that mentality out to all the spaces that we are soon going to occupy as graduates, whether it be within design or outside of design, for issues such as climate change and gender inequality. It's easy to think that this commencement is the ending of one journey for us to transition to another. And on one level, yes, that is correct, but I would hesitate to call this the ending of our RISD journey. Thanks to a certain worldwide event, we have already proven to ourselves that we remain a community even when we don't share a physical space. I have no doubt that we will all cross paths again sooner or later. And the next time we do, we will definitely be older, we might have more tattoos, differently colored hair, or maybe no hair at all. And more importantly, I can't wait to see how we are living the futures that don't exist yet, the dialogues to be had, and how each of us are banishing silence with our new precedents. class of 2021. Congratulations, and I'll see you all soon.